Hello, my name is Lorcan and I'm an adult literacy tutor in Sligo, and I'm here. This video is to explain briefly some of the paying conditions for adult education tutors in Ireland. So this is not, I'm trying to be as comprehensive as possible, but this is to the best of my knowledge the way things are. But of course, we'll see later on that things will vary from ETB to ETB. So this is, as far as I know, what's going on, but there could be other things going on as well. So let's have a look. So the video is really to do with where do our pay and conditions come from? So that's the question. How do the ETBs know how much to pay us and what our conditions are?
So in the ETBs in general, how do the ETBs know how much they have to pay their employees at the different levels, different grades, different jobs that they do? Well, it's all decided by the Department of Education. It's all on the TUI website if you want to check it out. Teachers Union of Ireland website. You can search for further education salary scales, and it's all here. So we have adult education officers start at 53,000, goes up to 82,000. They get an increment every year. Adult literacy organisers, their rate of pay is fixed. The ETBs don't get to choose what they pay them. They have to pay them the rate that is on the salary scale. So people who begin start in the job, they start on 40,000. If they joined after 2011, pre 2011, they start on 44,000. It's quite a big difference. And every year they get an increment, and their salary goes up every year. So the same for youth reach resource staff. These are their salaries. Salaries are fixed. ETBs don't get to choose what they pay them. That's all there. That's true for pretty much every teacher and every educational worker within the Irish education system.
So where are tutors? Where are tutors in all this? Well, tutors aren't mentioned, and they're not mentioned because there are no national pay and conditions for adult education tutors. As far as the Department of Education is concerned, we don't really exist. There's no guidelines, no directives, nothing. So what does this mean? It means that the ETBs can do what they want. The ETBs get to make up our pay and conditions. They may use certain internal guidelines, but there's nothing national about this. So it means they can pay us as little or as much as they want. So let's look at pay firstly, because it's the most important thing. So in general, as far as I can see, certainly in my ETB, we're paid the part-time unqualified hourly rates. What does that mean? So this actually is set by the Department of Education. But it was originally designed for teachers who have no teaching qualification. So really just for people who may have a degree, may not even not have a degree, and they're brought into secondary schools to sub for a few days or a week or two here and there. This was never intended as a permanent pay rate for any teacher. It was really designed for those teachers who have no teaching qualifications, who are just subbing for a while. So if we just look at the actual pay rates, you have to see that all the pay rates, as in all of the public service, are split between pre-2011 and post-2011. So what happened in 2011 was the financial crash, or that's when the effects really came into effect. That the government decided that they had to cut costs. And what they did was they cut the pay of anybody coming into the public service after 2011. So if you joined after 2011, you're on a lower rate than the pre-2011 tutors. And the difference is about 10%. So let's have a look. So a pre-2011 tutor gets 46.35 an hour total. Now, this is from the TUI website. The one that applies to us is number 2, unqualified hourly rate. You can ignore the including 22% holiday pay. I don't think that's relevant. So we'll see how that is made up. So it's 46.35 in total an hour. So the pre-2011 pay, how does it work? Well, there's holiday pay taken off the top. The ETBs generally take holiday pay off the top. So some ETBs take 8% and some take 12%. Now this, you don't lose this money, you're just paid, in my ETB and a lot of ETBs, I think they're paid 3 times: Christmas, Easter, and summer. So if you've got 8% holiday pay taken off your pay rate, so the rate on your pay slip probably is 42.65, and the holiday pay off the top is 370. It's accumulated and paid to you 3 times a year. That should be the way it works. Some ETBs may vary this, and then some ETBs take 12%. Then your pay rate on your payslip is 40.79, and then you get 5.56, which accumulates 5.56 an hour. If that accumulates, and then you're paid at holiday times. Post 2011. So this includes me. I joined the ETB in 2015. So again, it's the unqualified hourly rate. So it's down there on the bottom. So that comes to a total of 41.72 an hour. This can get a little bit complicated, but it's not that complicated. Okay, so it's the post 2011. If it's 8% holiday pay, it's the same thing. Your pay rate is 38.63. You might see that on your payslip. I think that's mine. That's what my ETB does. And the holiday pay is 309 at the top. Again, accumulates and it's paid back. If it's 12%, it's 36.71. Holiday pay is 501, and you get paid that 3 times a year. So what does this mean? Well, this is the lowest rate that it is possible to pay someone working as a teacher in Ireland. I haven't even said to pay a teacher, someone working as a teacher in Ireland, because as we know, it was designed for people who are not qualified teachers. So it's the lowest possible rate. There is no lower rate in the country that is possible to pay somebody working as a teacher. So let's have a look at our conditions. Well, as we know, ETBs can do what they want, so it's a wide variety. Some ETBs require tutors to register with the Teaching Council. So, which means that they're qualified teachers. That's the definition of a qualified teacher. You register with the Teaching Council. And so in theory, they should be getting the qualified teacher rate. As far as I know, no ETB is doing that, is giving the qualified teacher rate, but I could be wrong. So if I am, please let me know. Some ETBs have pension schemes, others have other arrangements, and one ETB I know of does not give pension contributions for certain subjects, for example, ESOL. So they're just making this stuff up. Some ETBs give travel expenses for travel between centres, others do not. There's nothing to make them give us any of these conditions because we've got no nationally agreed contract. Again, the ETBs can do what they want. So what's the upshot? Well, if you're unhappy with your pay and conditions, the ETB is responsible. Your local ETB is responsible. Now, we are trying to push for a nationally agreed contract, which will come from the Department of Education and the government, the central government. But right now, if our pay and conditions are inadequate, our ETBs are responsible for this. So what do you do? Well, first of all, you need confirmation of your pay and conditions. Contact your ALO, your AEO, and HR. HR is probably the best place to get an explanation of these. Finance can often help too. But it should be something around what I have mentioned. But it's good to confirm. When you have confirmation of your pay and conditions, write to your FET director and write to the CE of your ETB. Their email addresses should be on the local ETB website, or you can certainly find it out locally from your ALO. So these are the people who have who have power at the end of the day to decide our pay and conditions. And again, we have to remember that it's the ETB who's responsible if we're not being paid properly. So what's the solution? Well, there are a number of solutions, but the ultimate one is a nationally agreed contract, full-time contract with a salary scale and decent paying conditions. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments or any other experiences or anything you want to say, mcnamee.lorcan@gmail.com is my email address. Please email me. I'd be happy to engage with anyone. So just remember, if the ETBs say they cannot do something, that's not true. What they mean is they won't do it or they don't want to do it. That's the essential issue here. is there a will to change our paying conditions or not? Thanks very much.